Hello everybody and welcome to the 23rd episode of the MyMuddlings podcast. I'm your host Julianne and I live here in Adelaide, South Australia with my husband Simon and my fur baby, and this is a podcast all about knitting, crochet, spinning, hand dyeing yarn, all sorts of things that I get up to, and I'd like to welcome returning viewers very much. Thank you, welcome, thank you for coming back, and if you're a new viewer, thank you so much for checking me out. I hope you really like the podcast, and if you do, please consider subscribing and give me a big thumbs up, and that goes for everybody. Give me a big thumbs up if you like what I'm doing over here. That helps YouTube to suggest my podcast to other people and hopefully grow my viewer base and get a bigger group, and we can all be a big happy family. So I don't know if you can tell yet, but because I haven't done a really good test, but I'm actually using an actual video camera. This is my first podcast with my brand new video camera. I've just been getting really frustrated because I've been doing the podcast on my iPhone, and things with having my memory getting really full. It's pretty old. It's a 5S iPhone, so it's at least 2 generations back, no, probably 3 now, generations back, so it's getting slow. My battery is terrible. I have to charge it at least twice a day just to keep it going, and I don't even make phone calls. That's just Instagram and Ravelry and things like that on there. Yeah, so, and it's a 64 gig, but I only have at the best up to 4 gig free on there. I have a lot of music on there because I do use it as my iPod as well. So long story short, that was getting really frustrating, having the battery run out, having space run out, constantly trying to record my podcast. I also don't feel that the video quality was that great. So I had a chat with Simon about it, and we decided to spend a little bit of savings getting me a decent video camera, and I hope that this will fix issues like last week's podcast where it was all blurry, and I have no idea why. Obviously, because this is an actual video camera, it has autofocus and things like that on it, so hopefully it'll focus things properly. I should be able to hold up my works in progress, which we're going to get to in a second, and you'll actually be able to see the detail instead of having it closer to the camera but blurry. So yeah, I'm hoping that it really ups the quality of the podcast, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think. I think I've actually got a piece of hair or something in my eye. Sorry. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if you feel like the video quality has improved. I have got this, unfortunately, the SD card that we bought doesn't do the best video quality that the camera is actually capable of. It does like a really big full HD kind of encoding something or other. Apparently the card that we bought is too slow for that, so I have it on the highest frame rate that I can get. I have it on the highest quality that I'm available to get, so hopefully it'll be sweet. So yes, definitely let me know. I'm really excited, and I can't wait to get this up on the computer so that I can start editing and see how the quality is looking. So that's enough blather about my camera, and if anybody's interested, it is a Sony Handycam. It's an HDR CX405. So there you go. If you like the quality and you're in the market for a video camera, maybe that's the one for you. So yes. Now on to a little bit of housekeeping, just to again reinforce that we are running a year-long knit-along or make-along over on the MyMuddlings podcast Ravelry group. And as I said, that's for a year long, and it's called the MyMuddlings Stash Down Along. So pretty much if you have a large stash, you can use any of your yarn that you purchased or was in your stash prior to the 1st of January this year. You're welcome to use that, and you can do knitting, crochet, spinning, weaving, however you can use that yarn. Feel free to use it up. We've got a bunch of FOs showing up over on the board, so on the thread, and we're nearly done with January. So I can't believe it's nearly February. So yes, because I'm in Australia, I'm a little bit ahead of other countries like the UK and the US. So I may lock the January thread before before it's February for you guys, but it's only because it's on my time. And the January thread's really only for chatter anyway, so I will lock that whenever, and I will do a quick prize draw. And for January, I've decided that I will be gifting a pattern of knitting pattern of your choice, whoever the winner is, up to the value of Australian $10. So yes, so that will be the prize for January, and I will draw that once it's February. So we have two sponsors for the knit along. First of all, we have Caroline of Clothesline Designs, and all of her designs are over on Ravelry. And my second sponsor is Tamara from Tam's Crafty Knits. So please go and check out our sponsors' stores, and you do get bonus yardage for the knit along if you do use their products. So of course MyMuddlings is also a sponsor, that is me obviously. So if you use any of my yarns or project bags or stitch markers, you are welcome to count the extra yardage for that too. So yes, I think that's all it is, and I'm still asking for sponsors. If you are able to donate a little bit of money towards some patterns or postage for other items, or you have a bag brand, or you're a pattern designer, if you could contact me and you'd like to donate a prize, please feel free to contact me, and you can do that via either a PM on Ravelry, or you can email me at the address that I will put in the down bar. Okay, so let's get on to what I have been working on. I have two finished objects this week, and they are both hats. So the first one, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen it. It is blinding. It is my pussy hat. And after the Women's March, I actually finished this after the Women's March, but I was so inspired by seeing just so many women turn out all over the world with their pink hats, and I'm like, even though I didn't attend a march, I don't even know whether Adelaide held a march. I know Melbourne did. I know Shara from What Shara Made podcast. Hi Shara. I know she went to a march in Melbourne. I'm not actually aware that Adelaide did any. I haven't heard of any if they did. But anyway, so I was so inspired by all these women who were standing up and saying, hey, this isn't right, that I dyed up a colourway and I knit myself a hat. So this is my pussy hat, and I used Cat Coil's actual pussy hat project. I know there's a lot of different pussy hat patterns on Ravelry now, but this was Cat Coil's who actually started the pussy hat project. So this was from her pattern, and basically the pattern, it's a free pattern, it's knit flat, just a rectangle, and then the sides are seamed. So I can open that out and you can just see I've just mattress stitched the sides together there. Hopefully that's focusing. New camera. So yeah, I love it. It's so good. I'm not going to put it on because again it is very hot here today. It's very, well, it's not desperately hot, it's just really humid because which is rare for Adelaide. Usually we're more of a dry heat. It has been raining this morning. It's overcast. It has been raining, so I think it's supposed to be 32 degrees with the rain, so it's very humid, which I die in. I hate the humidity. Anyway, so I'm not going to put my hat on, but this is knit out of my own colourway. This is the MyMuddlings Aran base, and this is my colourway Get Your Hands Off My Pussy. So yeah, so I wanted the bright pink hat, but I'm not really a pink person. You might have noticed I don't wear a lot of pink, but I do wear purple. So I've done, basically I layered a couple of different tones of pink, and then I put some purple just over the top, just to get sort of that more, these darker spots here, just to give it a bit of purple. So yeah, it was super simple. I finished this in, I think, equivalent of one day. I started it in the afternoon after my yarn had dried, and I finished it the next day. So yeah, super quick, super fun. A friend of mine has asked me to knit her one, so I will be doing that for her, and I can't wait to wear this because I sort of think, you know, it was the big thing with the March was to have the pussy hats, but I have no qualms with wearing this through the year, you know, when it's cold, just to, you know, to show off my nasty woman status. So so yes, I will be wearing this in winter, and I love how the little ears kind of pop out. I'll pop a picture in so that you can see me actually wearing it. It was a cooler day when I finished it, so I immediately went outside and took some photos. So yeah, I'll pop a picture in, and that's the pussy hat. And I used, how much did I use? I used 137 yards of the Aran base, and I just knit that on 5mm generic needles, and I think that's a US size 8. Yes, it's a US size 8. So that's my pussy hat, and I love it. Okay, and my other finished object is, oh, surprise, surprise, you guys are going to get so sick of seeing this pattern. It's my Amelia Beret. So this is my 4th, I believe, that I have knit, and this was knit out of some cotton because I have a really dear friend and she is a vegan, so I can't make anything for her out of my hand-dyed yarns because they're all wool, and so unfortunately she actually wanted one knit out of this colour, but obviously because I don't dye cotton or linen or anything like that, I couldn't do that. Although I did just see that the brand of dye that I use does actually dye nylon, so if I can find some sort of, I maybe will go down to Spotlight and get a few different types of acrylic and nylon and you know, polyester kind of yarns and see if the dye will actually take. But until then, I knit her one out of some cotton. So she is a big fan of sort of neutral, more neutral kind of colours. So this is Bendigo Woolen Mills Cotton 8-ply. Sorry, there is a truck just pulling up outside and it's going to reverse. And I hope it doesn't, yes. Perfect timing. Just great. Anyway, it's mostly up the street now. What was I saying? So yes, she likes the neutral colours. This is Bendigo Woolen Mills Cotton in the 8-ply thickness. So that, it's given some really nice stitch definition. The yarn overs have popped really, really nicely, and it's still nice and, obviously because cotton is a bit that way anyway, nice and slouchy. So yeah, I used 129 yards of cotton, and I just used my generic circulars in 4mm, which is US 6, and 4.5mm, which is US 7. So, and then just some DPNs just to finish it off. So yeah, I hope she will be happy with that. Some news on update on the pattern. I have, I think 5 out of my 6 testers now have gotten back to me. So I've got some really great feedback and some good ideas on ways that I can improve the written pattern. So hopefully this will be out possibly next week, possibly the week after. So if you want to get your hands on this pattern, it won't be too much more of a wait. So, and I will be offering a discount for the first month or 2 of it being up. So if you are seeing this in early February and you like this pattern, please head over to my Ravelry store, and hopefully the discount will still be there. So that's my finished objects. Hats. I've just been really into quick getting things done, what do you call it, instant gratification kind of projects lately. I'm finding the bigger things a bit of a slog. I don't know whether that's because it's hot and you kind of don't imagine yourself ever wearing a lot of knitted stuff when it's hot. So yeah, I've really been into the hats. I've really been enjoying them. So yes, and can I just take a moment to talk about my shirt? I was going to talk about it earlier, But if there are any comic book fans out there, you might be able to tell from this far up. Oh, you can see my gorgeous black bra under my yellow t-shirt. Anyway, this is a shirt that I was actually given by my husband. Simon bought this for me for, I think it was my birthday one year. And from what you can see, it's got green on the sides, and it also has a belt as well. I'm sitting on the floor, so it's going to be a little bit hard for me to get up and show you. But yes, it is a Rogue X-Men t-shirt, and I believe this is the comic book outfit, because obviously it doesn't look anything like the movie outfit. And the reason that my husband bought this, because I've seen this going around a lot of people in the knitting verse. I saw Karen from Simply Stashless mentioned it in her comments on her latest video, and I know Stacey from Mustache Yarns also has mentioned it, but it's about embracing the grey. And you're going to probably think, well, what has that got to do with your Rogue t-shirt? Well, I don't know if you have noticed, but although I'm only 34, I have actually been going grey pretty much since I was a teenager. I've had grey in my hair for the longest time. It's sprinkled all the way through, and partly because of badgering from my sister, who thinks it's really daggy to have grey hair, I have always coloured it, and as you can see, it's growing out a little bit. I have highlights in at the moment, just foils, but I've decided to embrace the grey also because I have what I like to call my kick-ass streak at the front of my hair. So if you know anything about Rogue, the comic book character, she has a big like white section of hair at the front, and although I don't have, I am getting a few little sprinkles through here, but you may or may not have noticed that I actually have this massive streak right here, and so yeah, I've always been kind of ashamed of it actually, until Simon said, you know, that's like a comic book character, right? That's like Rogue. And I thought, hey, that's kind of cool. So he bought me this shirt because of my grey streak, because we, affectionately call me Rogue at times, even though, I'm not going to steal your life essence by putting my hand on you, like the character does. But yes, so I just wanted to have a quick word about that, and yes, I will be embracing the grey, so please keep an eye on that. And I'm actually thinking, once I've grown out the colour in my hair, that I will potentially, I've been having a crazy idea that my grey streak, I might actually start colouring it with fudge hair colour, and so I'll have like a coloured, I part my hair that side, so I'll have a coloured streak at the front of my hair, so stay tuned. Hopefully, maybe in the coming months you might see something a bit crazy in my hair. But also, speaking of hair, I kind of want to chop it off. You guys, like, I don't know how many of you have got mega heavy, see, I have fine hair, but there's a lot of it, and yes, if any of you suffer with that, you'll absolutely know how I feel, because it's getting very long and it's very hot, and I'm really seeing a lot of women, especially like, celebrities and things, that have got these really awesome blunt bobs, and I'm kind of like, oh, I kind of want that. But I know I have a very round face, so I don't know that having a blunt bob is really going to look great on me, although I did see Kirsten Dunst in the Melancholia film that she is in. She has a blunt bob, and she has a fairly round face, so maybe I can pull it off. So yes, anyway, that was all about my hair. So let's get on to works in progress. I have two that I've mostly been working on, apart from obviously the things that became finished objects. That's kind of what I've been working on this week. But I have been working on my mum's Morning Mist t-shirt. So this is a pattern by Annie Rowden, and I have ends all over the place here, so you'll have to bear with me. But I have finished the yoke now. So I've knit down, I think it's 7.5 inches to the bottom of the arm, and I just yesterday afternoon I picked up to start working the body. So yes, that is going to go a little bit quicker now that it's in the round instead of knitting backwards and forwards. And if I can get these yarn ends out of the way, I will hold it up so that you can see the lace, because I know last week I held it up to show the lace, but everything was blurry. So there you go. That is the lace. I'm pretty sure I popped a picture in anyway so that you can see. But yeah, so hopefully it won't be too long till I get to the bottom. I think I have to do 15 or so inches down from the bottom of the arm, so yeah, at least now it's just round and round and round and round and round and round. So that's going to be good TV knitting. It's not really much more to talk about. Yeah, I picked up the stitches. Now it's just stocking it in the round for 15.5 inches and then some garter stitch. So now that it is good TV knitting, so I don't even need to look at it, I can just knit around and around. Hopefully it won't be too long before it's finished. So, because I do want to get back onto my pomme de pin, humidity. I do want to get back to my pomme de pin cardigan because I haven't actually been knitting on that recently. But Simon and I have our anniversary in middle of March, the 16th of March, and my sister very, very kindly gave us a voucher for a night away for Christmas. So we are doing that on our anniversary night. So I really want my pomme de pin to be finished so that I can wear it on our night away. So that is something I really want to get onto, but I have to get this done first. And yeah. So, wish me luck. Let's hope that we see quite a bit more length in that next week. So that's the Morning Mist. Oh, and that is knit from Knit Picks Cotlin, which is their cotton and linen blend. And I'm using the colours linen, which is that sandy lace colour, and the colour pomegranate, which is for the rest of the body. Okay, so I've lost my show notes. And the only other thing that I've really been working on is something that this really was a hard one, because I got a massive craving. Oh shit, just hit the camera. I apologise, sorry for swearing as well. If you know me, you know that I have, you know, the vocabulary of a sailor. Anyway, I got the sudden bee in my bonnet that I needed to knit a shawl. I've been seeing all of the people who've been doing the 5 shawls 5 days knit along with the Rohan Knits, and although I didn't join that, I love shawls. I love knitting shawls. When it gets cold in the winter, I'm wearing them almost constantly, especially when I go out. So for me, I can never have too many shawls. So I got a bee in my bonnet and I'm like, I want to knit a shawl. But because it was hot, I didn't want to go out into the dining room, into the heat, to wind up a ball from a skein. So I'm thinking, what yarn do I have that is already balled up? Or at least in a usable, a usable form. Because obviously you can't knit from a skein. So I'm looking through my stash and I'm like, and I had a few balls of sort of Knit Picks, stroll and things like that out in the study. But again, because I don't have a, sorry, there goes the truck again. Because I don't have a dedicated craft space, my stuff is kind of everywhere. It is spread throughout the house. You cannot escape it. So all of my dyeing stuff, which is stuff that I use very regularly, obviously, because I am a yarn dyer, is sitting on top of my sock yarn stash. And I have to get through multiple containers in front of the tub that's got my sock yarn in it. I have to move everything that's on top of the tub with my sock yarn in it, and then dig through the tub with my sock yarn in it to try and find what I wanted. And again, it was hot. Our house doesn't have air conditioning. I was like, no, I'm not going out there and moving half of a room to get to a tub to then dig through and find yarn. So I thought, I have a sock yarn blank from Unwind Yarn Company, so I thought, well, I could use that. Why not? You know, just because it's called a sock blank doesn't mean that I can't use it for a shawl or anything else that you would use, you know, sock yarn for. Anyway, so I dug it out and I started on 4.5mm needles, and which is what, a US 8. Started doing just a generic triangular shawl, and I discovered that the yarn is really thin, and I don't know whether that's just because it has been knit into you know, the fabric and it's kind of compressed a little bit, or whether it just is naturally a thinner, on the thinner end sock yarn. So I was knitting away and I didn't like the gauge, and because it was coming from a sock yarn, of course, a sock blank, of course it's all kinky, and I didn't love it, so I'm like, nah, frog it. So I went down a needle size to a a 4mm US 6 and tried again, and I still didn't like it. I think the kinks made the gauge look a bit funny, so I didn't like it, frogged it. Then I thought, there's a shawl that I knit a while ago. I'll pop in a picture. It's called the Antarctic shawl. I'm not 100% sure who knit it. I might find that out and pop it in the show notes. But I thought, well, why don't I try an Antarctic? It's, you know, it's just garter stitch and eyelets, and the variegation of the sock blank might work in that. So I'm knitting it and knitting it and knitting it and knitting it. And I got up to the start of the eyelet section and I'm like, don't like this either. So, all of that to say, I've cast on a pair of socks. Anyway, let's have a look. This is from Unwind Yarn Company. This is my sock blank. And it is her, what she calls a stained glass speckle sock blank, and this was her number 42, so she doesn't do them, they're not repeatable, they're just as they are. And I love, you know, grey and purple, and I thought the green looked really cool, so I bought that sock yarn blank. So here's my sock. Pretty much I've just knit it long enough to use up, you know, what I had previously pulled out of the blank for the shawl. So yeah, I don't mind it so much. I mean, in a sock, I kind of don't care what colour my socks are. I don't care if there's pulling or flashing or anything like that. So yeah, 3 attempts at a shawl and I've got a sock. So that's the other thing that I've been working on this week. I don't know whether I'm going to continue on this at this stage because I do have my Gumi socks also on the needles. But yeah, at least I've started what it's going to be, and I've used up all of the length that I had pulled out so that I'm not going to get massive tangles. So yeah, it's just going to be another one of my 64 stitch vanilla sock with the Fish Lips Kiss heel. So you guys have heard about that 1,000,001 times, so I'm not going to go really into any more detail, but that's my sock. That was my story, and that's all the things that I've been working on this week, apart from some spinning. I have got the spinning bug back. Go me! And pretty much over the weekend, got a bee in my bonnet. I wanted that tiddly bit skein done, gone. So that's what I worked on. I have it here, and I can't say I love it. Honestly, that could be due to a couple of reasons, which I will elaborate on shortly. But yes, this is my tiddly bit skein, which was made by, I bought a packet of tiddly bits from Robin at Treadle Handspun Yarns on Etsy, and I've spun that up. So it's just a 2-ply. I did this on my Ashford Traveller wheel and plied it on my traditional wheel. And it's a 2-ply, I said, just worsted draw, so short forward draw. And I don't know what my ratios actually are on the Traveller, but I know that my plying ratio I think is about 7 or 7.5 to 1 on the traditional. So if you're a spinner, that will make sense to you. If not, just blah, blah, blah. So yes, that's my tiddly bit skein. And yeah, I don't love it. I found, although the colours look amazing on the Tiddly Bits, I found that it looks rather muddy, which I don't love. And there seems to be predominantly green and orange and yellow showing up in it, and none of those are my colours, and I don't really like them. So not enough purple, not enough pink, not enough grey. There's little bits of blue, but not a ton. So this will probably end up in my shop, I think. See if somebody else likes it. But yeah, because the Tiddly Bits are pencil roving, I'd never spun with pencil roving before. I can't say I loved it. It's probably not something that I will chase to do again. Yeah, just simply because I think I said before that the Tiddly Bits are pencil roving that are about a metre long. So you know, once you spin that 1 metre of pencil roving, which doesn't take very long because obviously it's pencil roving, you don't have a lot of fibre there, you're constantly doing join after join after join. And I tried a few different ways of joining, and no matter what I did, I either ended up with a fluffy join or a mega thin patch where I've done the join. So this skein's a little inconsistent. Overall, it's pretty good. I think once it's knit, you're not going to be able to tell. And so yeah, there's sections where it's a bit thin, sections where it's a touch overspun. But the second reason why I'm not loving this skein is entirely my fault, because I finished this yesterday. I popped it on my skein winder to get it, you know, in a skein, and tied it off in 2 places, which is what I do for my hand-dyed yarn, and I have no problem. And this is superwash, so I thought it'll be fine. And then I put it in for soak, and I have no idea what happened, but somehow it got mega tangled. It got so tangled. And I kind of went, yeah, that's probably my fault. I probably should have put the whole 4 ties in, which is what my spinning guild says that you have to do for any yarn that you want to sell. Yes, so it got mega tangled, so I was unable to snap it or thwack it or any of the things that I wanted to do with it. So I pretty much had to squeeze it out, chuck it on the line, let it dry, undo the skein, and hand wind a ball out of it, which is what I spent probably 4 hours yesterday doing, plus an hour or so this morning, just so I could show it to you. You're thankful, I know you are, right? Right? Anyway, so it's in a skein again, because I hadn't got the yardage yesterday either, which I checked today. It's about 358 yards of a fingering weight. So this has to go for another bath, so I can snap it and thwack it, and hopefully get it to bloom a little bit more, because there's still some thinner areas in there that don't appear to. I want to snap it so that I can even out the twist and thwack it so I can see if it will bloom a little bit, and give a bit more of a cushy yarn, because it feels just really... I know I'm talking this down, and I know I said I was going to put it in my shop, so probably none of you guys will buy it from my shop because I'm putting it down. Anyway, I think once it's snapped and thwacked, I think it will be a much nicer yarn, and even then I might decide that I want to keep it, because if it does improve, I could probably make something for my nieces out of this. But yes, if you are interested in it, please contact me, because I'm happy to sell it to someone. So yeah, I only charge 10 cents per yard, so it's about $35 plus postage for this. So yeah, if you're interested in it, please contact me. Other than that, I will rewash it, snap it, thwack it, and potentially show you again next week if I still have it, so that you can see if there's any difference. So that's this week. So yeah, I've done some spinning. And the other thing that I was working on is, I think I briefly touched on it before, I am doing another sweater spin. One of my earlier episodes last year, I showed off some, actually I've got a swatch here. This yarn that I spun last year, which was some Bendigo Woolen Mills Ready Spin in the Tea Rose colourway. This is, I've spun to make a Citadel cardigan by Hohilo Catelli. So that will be cast on sometime this year, hopefully. So that was my hand spun for that. And I also have 2 more, because the Ready Spin comes in a kilo. So I spun a whole kilo of this, and it's all in a worsted weight 3-ply, ready for my Citadel, which has got cables, so the 3-ply is going to be perfect. But I have actually started on my Oxford Grey kilo of fibre that I have. I think I had started my second lot, because I did a test skein of 100 grams in 3-ply just to see, and I'm spinning it virtually the same as this. So it's going to be a 3-ply, short worsted, like short draw worsted, and that will be used to knit a fuse cardigan. So I will pop in a picture of the cardigan and of my one skein, because with this one I did 50-gram chunks. So I took it's in, you know, it's not too thick kind of tubes of fibre, I guess tubes, bits of fibre. So it doesn't really need to be stripped for me to spin it. And obviously, because it's just a heathered blend, there's no colour management, there's nothing like that that needs to be done. I can just pretty much take out 50 grams, spin it to a bobbin, take out another 50 grams, spin it to another bobbin. And this one, when I spun this, I simply, spun 3 bobbins, plied it, spun 3 bobbins, plied it. But I've since heard that that's probably not the best thing to have a consistent sweater yarn. So I'm really sorry, I hope you don't hear it, but my across the road neighbour seems to be sitting in his driveway revving his car. So I'm sorry for all the sound in this episode. Hopefully the camera isn't picking it up too much. I do have reduced background sound anyway. Where was I? Yeah, so I've heard... Seriously, dude? So I've heard that you should really spin your bobbins, either leave it on the bobbins or you know, wind it off onto holder bobbins, and then ply the the oldest yarn with the newest yarn and work backwards towards the middle. So because it's a 3-ply, I'm going to have to go, you know, 1, 2, 10, say I have 10, 1, 2, 10, and then I guess 9, 8, 3 to try and mash it up a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to have to wind off because I don't have enough bobbins to do all of that, and I've got a couple of mid-point spins on some of my bobbins, so I'm going to have to try and do that and wind it off. I don't know whether I can just wind it off onto my ball winder and leave it as a cake and number it so I know. If you know anything about that, I'd love to hear from you, just so you can give me some pointers. I don't have any sort of, I don't know what they're called, they're not travel bobbins, that's not the right thing, but like temporary bobbins just to hold yarn. I don't have anything like that, so I'm thinking I might just wind it off on my ball winder. I'll spin it to my bobbin, let it rest for a little while just to get that twist in, then wind it off to my ball winder, and then, you know, number it, and then I'll apply them the way I've heard you should. So that's the only other thing. I've done 1 bobbin of 50 grams for my fuse cardigan, which is in Ready Spin Oxford Grey. So I'll pop in a picture so that you can see that. So yes, that can go back over there. And pretty much, just let me check my show notes. I think that's all I had to talk about. Yes, that is all I had to talk about. I am really sorry for the blathery nature of this podcast. I've been all over the place. I seem to have a lot to talk about today. I hope it hasn't been too annoying. I hope you've enjoyed the things that I've been talking about. And of course, I would love to hear from you. So please leave a comment down below, or you can email me at that address that I put in earlier. Show notes can be found at MyMuddlings.com, which is also my blog, where I do blog about works in progress and finished objects. And I might I do my shop update write-ups on there, and even though I do talk about my projects here on the podcast, I might gloss over certain things that I might think to write down, so you probably will always find more information over on the blog on anything that I'm talking about. I'm trying to get better at getting all of my finished objects onto the blog, because at the moment it's kind of a bit of this, bit of that, just sort of selecting. So anyway, yes, show notes will be on the blog. You can find me on Ravelry as Anne of Julie, and pretty much all my other things will be in the credits at the end. So I think I will just shut up now, and I will go and edit this, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all have a fantastic week, and yeah, happy crafting, have a great week, take care, thanks so much, I'll see you next week, bye!